Well, thump my bungus and spread my thick ass. This Tuesday, we're expecting high winds and heavy flooding. And if y'all think I ain't gonna head down to Pleasant Mart to get sucked sideways, then y'all got me f***ed up.
My name is Jeff.
It is not world-class bullshitters, but welcome to the Tuesday Night Show here on WCBS, the first of 2026. The first world-class episode of the year. So let's start hot tonight, folks. I am joined by my wonderful co-hosts from all over the world, from all over the universe. From the Ripperverse, say hello to Andy Andrew.
What's going on, chat? It is to be back. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, a safe one. But we are back. Now you get to hear more of me again. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, folks, it's not just Andrew you get to hear more from the Great White North. Say hello to the one, the only, Script Doctor.
Hello and Happy New Year, everybody. First stream of the High Council in the new year. Happy to be here. Happy to see all of you out there in the chat. And yeah, if you do hate the sound of my voice, well, too bad. Because we're talking and we're going to have some fun tonight.
We are finally joined by our co-host from the West Coast. Say hello to Mr. Aaron Sparrow.
It is delightful to be making a triumphant return here to the show.
We're happy to have you, man. People like the intro. Matt West, if you like that, that's one of our normal intros on the Thursday night podcast where things are a little crazier, a little better than... I was going to compare it to SNL, but I'm like, I think we're more consistent over the last 10 years, what we've given people.
Yeah.
But folks, hopefully you enjoyed your New Year's and your Christmas. We'll do official channel catch-up stuff on Thursday because I traveled to the land of the Mitten, Michigan, to go visit Dion. So we'll tell you more about those stories and that kind of fun stuff on Thursday night. But tonight we're here to talk about some big topics. Now, folks, in the grand scale of internet myths and rumors, one rises above most because there's always going to be what happened on 9/11 or the files that aren't getting released or this or that. But if you're a fan of popular culture, one rumor or myth you've heard about for almost a decade at this point is the never-ending myth of Kathleen Kennedy's replacement, aka they're firing that woman.
I have not heard this.
I have not heard it either, man. It's not like the rumors have been swirling since the last Trump presidency, and people have been talking about it like it's happening tomorrow and the next day and at 9 o'clock. Oh, wait, it's 9:07. Shit, it's happening at 9:07 Eastern Standard tomorrow night. Like, it's been one of those rumors that everyone just rolls their eyes at, hopefully. But today, they made yet another announcement, and places like Forbes are talking about it. So I guess we should talk about the officially yet to soon be confirmed, that's the wording from the article we talked about in the video today, the rumor that Dave Filoni will be taking over at Lucasfilm creatively for Kathleen Kennedy. Now, we've been hearing about this, like I said, for like a decade, and it really isn't the story about, oh my God, what can he do to save Star Wars? It's more of what is there to do? But we'll get to that in just a moment. Guys, let's start with the obvious question we all have. Is this real? Do you think this is happening?
I'm not going to hold my breath, but it's a lateral move if it is happening, because who has Kathleen Kennedy relied on most for many of the creative directions of Star Wars? It's Dave the Fraud Filoni. I'm more surprised of this Llewellyn lady who's got a very slim history in any type of development or administration aspect, because she's a digital effects artist or a visual effects artist. And if this rumor is to be true, then we're looking at the next Victoria Alonso, essentially a woman who nobody really knows about, being promoted to a level to be a scapegoat, to be blamed on for all the failures that has happened in Star Wars, to save Kathleen Kennedy, then Dave Filoni. Because for years, I've been hearing that producer Carrie Beck was one of the top contenders in line to succeed Kathleen Kennedy because she is an actual producer. She's not a great one, but she is one, and she's been around Disney Star Wars since the beginning, working on everything that has ever come out since the Disney acquisition. But yeah, I mean, listen, when Kathy wants to leave, we'll know for sure when she wants to leave. And I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, truthfully.
Aaron, what do you think? Because I don't want to bury the lead too much with what I think.
I think that if you're bringing in Dave Filoni to replace Kathleen Kennedy, you're basically just say goodbye to the old boss, say hello to the new boss. It's the same as the old boss. You know, Dave Filoni is a male feminist. We all know he's got a witchy poo wife who, you know, it's just going to be the same thing. And Dave Filoni has given us nothing but garbage for years now. The only stuff that he's ever done that was good had some kind of oversight over it from George Lucas. You know, Rebels was okay. It wasn't great. It had some good characters in it and some good stuff, but a lot of that, you know, was helped out by Greg Weisman working on the first series or the first season, and you know, doing his part to kind of like shape that universe. Dave Filoni left to his own devices with no controls on him, complete creative control, I think is a disaster.
Yes, lots of stupid wide shots that have nothing to do with it. Basically, he's got the perspective of what a Jedi is that people who've never learned what inspired the Jedi are think what a Jedi is. He's just completely a fraud. He's only ever done Star Wars. Everything he's worked on has only been Star Wars related.
And he's stolen volumes upon volumes of things from the EU and then made it shittier, you know, to like spur, like, oh, look at what I did. Look at my show. Look at what I created. It's like, yeah, you stole that from here. You stole that from there. You stole that from here. And you gave us a much shittier version of it.
He does have an encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars lore.
Except for when Sam Witwer has to correct him on very basic things.
Well, that's comes with the territory, right? I mean, let's listen. A lot of fans know more about Star Wars than George Lucas does. So, but the fact of the matter, like, he does have an encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars lore. Like, I've seen him in situations where he has known some stuff and it's been verified. And then I've seen him in other situations where, Sam Witwer, or even, George Lucas's youngest female adopted daughter has had to correct him a few times on some parts. I can't remember her name because she is smart enough to not be in.
Is it Katie Lucas?
I think it might be Katie. I can't tell.
Yeah, I think it's Katie. I think Katie's the youngest.
I mean, again, same as the old boss. Like, Kathleen Kennedy is not a creative director producer. She is a problem-solving producer, which means that if you have an actor that's upset on set, you tell Kathy to go and fix him, and she does it. If you need to get a deal made with regards to a location or something to do with anything of actual production itself, she's the gal you want because she knows how to get that done. She knows how to make those types of decisions. She knows who to call to get those problems solved. If you ask her what's a great idea for the next story entry in there, she's like, oh, what if happens if Indiana Jones leaves at the end of the movie with the dog instead of with Marion? Like, she just does not process what a satisfying story is. And she's completely out of her depth on that. And it's shocking to think that she is there because I've heard counter arguments saying, well, Kathleen Kennedy had the easiest job ever because as a producer, when you're working for Steven Spielberg and her husband, Frank Marshall, all you have to do is say, hi, I'm Kathy Kennedy. I'm working on Amblin Film. And then everyone bends over backwards to help you out, which is the exact opposite. If you're working for a Spielberg film and you got to try and do something for Spielberg, anyone that finds out you're working for that film is going to rip you a new one when it comes to expenses, cost, and bureaucracy because they want to get the most money out of you as possible because they know it's there because it's a Spielberg film. You got to work the exact opposite on that.
Yep. So here's the question I really have. What's worth saving? Because we've all been disappointed for a decade. Lots of people have been disappointed for a decade. Are we supposed to just think like, hey, Somebody else is here, and now it's fixed.
Is somebody else here though?
No.
No.
Nobody new is here. He's been just as script and Aaron said. Filoni's been the chief creative officer this entire damn time. Like he's the one that's been doing oversight on the storytelling already. We saw the difference in Mandalorian from seasons 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3 when he had increasingly more creative control over the show. It got worse.
Yeah.
So as much as I just, recently finished finally going through all of Clone Wars with Mary, and I overall loved the show, actually. There were some low points, but there were also a lot of really great high points. And so overall, I actually quite enjoyed it. I haven't seen Rebels, haven't seen any of the other ones. I don't even remember what the other ones are called. Resistance, whatever it is.
Nobody saw Resistance, Andrew.
and I don't know if I care enough to at this point, but to his pseudo credit, Ahsoka was a character that grew on me. It took a minute, but she grew on me, and I can see why she has a strong fan base. However, he's a one-trick pony, and there's not much that he can do outside of that. Yeah. So I don't see anything different happening unless there was some like major oversight that KK had over him while she was president, and that was like curtailing some of the storytelling. I doubt it. Jeff, I know you kind of mentioned that a little bit in your video that you put out earlier this evening. Guys, you should check that out if you haven't done so already.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, so maybe he brings in some other like good Star Wars writers. If he has any 2 cents about him, he'll do that. But I don't know. Like, I don't see anything different here. Would I be thrilled to see Kathleen Kennedy finally gone? Sure. I mean, I've been saying that for the last 18 years. There's a billion YouTube channels that have been theorizing and saying that their sources were saying that this was gonna happen, the very next week. But
how many
ultimately,
weeks
I
ago
don't
was
think
that, Andrew?
I don't freaking know.
In fairness, Andrew, hashtag Doomcock was finally right.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I could say, hey, it's going to rain. Okay, well, when's it going to rain? It's eventually going to rain.
Eventually,
right? Like,
Kathleen Kennedy will be gone.
congratulations. Like, we're in, the dead of summer, and, you're saying it's going to rain. Okay, so it's going to rain in like 3 months, right? Like, congratulations, you were finally right. Like, that doesn't count. You don't get a cookie for that. I'm sorry. But the fact of the matter is, I do think if there are more reputable sources starting to report on this, then okay, congratulations to everyone. It's finally maybe kind of sort of happening eventually. Like, what was the stupid wording in that article that you were reading, Jeff? That it was like the most convoluted way possible to describe.
Oh yeah, yet to
like,
be confirmed.
Yeah, like officially yet to be confirmed or something like that. And it was like,
is it literally
what does it even mean?
Officially yet to be confirmed? Like, my impending marriage to the Queen of Mars is yet to be confirmed.
Yeah,
like,
everything these days, and everybody online is a freaking reporter nowadays. And I see all from discussing film to whoever else to Joe Jabroni with 100 followers. They'll say rumors of whatever, this person's going to make an appearance in Avengers Doomsday, or so-and-so is going to do this and that, or whatever, right? Yeah, sources are because I said so, bro. Like,
well, what you're talking about is opinionated news, which has taken over actual news, because opinionated news is it's nothing. I mean, it's not really informative other than this is what
no, and it's all just claiming a rumor that, congratulations, you just claimed a rumor.
Well, this is what the mainstream media has done forever. It's like, blah, blah, blah. They put up a lie, and then they get out of it by just saying sources say.
Well, I mean, that's what Puck News is based off of, too. I mean, there's multiple ways. There's someone will be in the industry saying, hey, I'm planning on doing this. I'm going to give you an article that you can put in Deadline or Variety or Hollywood Reporter to show that I'm getting momentum on this part, which I'm actually not. But if the article does well and hits clicks, the people that I'm getting, while I want to get momentum with, are going to call me. We're going to start brokering a deal. And now you look like you brokered an exclusive because you've helped facilitate an outcome that has been working on in the background by giving enough public attention that it ended up being a thing. Guess who did this? Leslie Headland did this when she pitched The Acolyte. 2 months after Disney put out a public statement saying they're not taking any external pitches for any projects for any of their intellectual property.
Right.
So, which meant that she did the pitch. She was told, don't, we're not taking anything right now. She used the very little leverage that she had, and she doesn't have a lot. Doesn't matter that she was Harvey Weinstein's assistant for a year. If she actually knew anything, she would have been on the court testifying against him like all the other assistants Harvey Weinstein had. She didn't, because she didn't know anything, because she didn't have any clout or sources or anything. She was just there, left, but used that little bit that she had and said, hey, I'm going to leak this to the trades. Kathy probably liked the idea too, but Iger said, no, we're not doing anything. Leaked to the trades, got some momentum, and all of a sudden now it's a greenlit show, and now they're scrambling to get it done, and it took 3 years to do, which if it was really pitched and ready to go as what the initial trades had said, regardless of the pandemic, it would have been out within 2 years as opposed to 3 to 4. So and that's how the relationship with the trades always works. Like I've had stuff like that where my manager said, hey, yeah, you're talking with this talent and you're talking with this studio to get your project done. All right, well, let's reach out to an artist, a reporter, and let them know that you're doing this so that we can get a little bit of a fire under the butt of the studios so that they can actually make a decision. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it completely goes under the radar and nobody even knows what's happening. And that's the nature of the game. Of course, now with a lot of reporting being essentially democratized because of the freedom that's on X, any rumor that comes up, someone will say, yep, it's kind of a fact. I have a source that backs it up. This is my opinion. And they'll try to pass off the opinion as fact, as opposed to like letting you know, like, hey, this is just speculation based on these little things that I'm hearing around town. And yet people run with it. And this might be a very example of that, because one thing that I notice, which is very out of character, is if this rumor is to be true, that means that Disney is copying the Warner Brothers model when it comes to an IP head. Because what's going on over at Warner Brothers with DC? You got James Gunn, who's the creative head of the studio, and Peter Safran, who does the administrative stuff. The only difference is that Peter Safran has, 2 decades of actual administration, agency, representation, management, knows how to produce and make a movie. And this Llewellyn lady, she's been around. I think her first big project was being a visual effects artist on Iron Man.
And
That's still pretty
conversely, James Gunn knows how to make a movie and has had some measurable success making movies.
Yes.
Dave Filoni has had more failures than he's had hits.
Filoni exists because he's a fan of Star Wars who broke through the gatekeeping to end up getting a job. He's like the only one to do that. And he's a warning sign for everyone else out there who thinks, I'm such a big fan of Star Wars, I could write just as good as George Lucas. And listen, George Lucas had his troubles as well. He's a creative guy, needed a lot of help to get the best out of him. And sadly,
number one is
people.
you need to have ideas. It's all well and good to be a fan of Star Wars, but you need to be able to say, what kind of Star Wars stories can I tell? And what Dave Filoni seems to be able to do is, what Star Wars EU, can I mine? And then I can write, I can write my version of it. But the problem is, he's not a compelling writer. And I know people who have worked with Dave Filoni, and every one of them says that he is also a petty climber. He is a petty, he'll smile in your face. He's not confrontational, but those long knives come out as soon as you turn your back.
No, he's not confrontational, but he's also very, very complimentary to people that he works with. Like if you're on one of his projects, he will praise you to the point where you're impressed the fact that you feel like you just got filleted with your pants still on and not even unbuttoned. Like that's how good he is.
That's a visual.
But if in any way you're a threat to him, then you'll get those compliments, but also
you'll never come back ever again. That's the part that I mean, he invented Ahsoka by basically strong-arming George Lucas into creating a character that violates the very ethos of what was established in George's original trilogy, which is you shouldn't have an apprentice trying to teach a student because that's dangerous. And yet here we have an apprentice in Anakin Skywalker teaching a little girl how to be a Jedi, and she ends up becoming one of the most prominent Jedi unsung heroes behind the Clone Wars and what's going on during the actual Civil War in the background than anyone's ever never heard of. And I know a lot of people like the character. I never have liked the character. I've liked the voice actors who played her. I've seen her in some other stuff. She's really good. But no, Ahsoka is a very clouded Mary Sue type of character. And there's a lot of low stakes conflict with her to make it appear that she's actually got struggles, but in the end, never really the case.
Well, now she's the girl that's the key to everything. She's lived through the Clone Wars. She lived through the Dark Times. She's lived past into the sequel trilogy now, even though like apparently, I'm sure that somehow she'll still be alive during the sequel era, even though, you have her Force ghost talking to Rey at the end of that shit Rise of Skywalker.
Well, it's just Force telepathy, right? Because that's the thing now. The other part too is she is technically, by way of Dave Filoni, the most experienced living Jedi in the galaxy, because she's from the old order. She supersedes Luke, who's learned a little bit from Yoda, but of course, never learned as much from Yoda as Ahsoka had learned from Anakin and the entire Jedi Council of the essentially the Old Republic. Because again, the Old Republic ended when the Jedi fell. So yeah, she is the key to everything now, and it's
bestest ever.
Yeah, bestest ever.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Just man, stop.
Look, I'm a firm believer that this franchise had been SOL for quite a while. It just keeps getting worse. It's a race to the bottom. But it'll be fun to watch the downfall even more. I mean, under Dave Jabroni Filoni, we've gotten stuff like the High Republic. I get that he's not responsible for every little detail, but like this is the temperature of the room that he's been in control of for quite a while. So expect nothing to change. I know it sounds like it's going to be exciting, and other people are like, "Oh man, finally Star Wars is safe." No, it's not. Look at it from an actual standpoint. It just lost its popularity because it kind of shit the bed. And I know anything can come back, but
look at how people are right now, Jeff, about the Avengers Doomsday. 2 seconds of James Marsden in a comic accurate Cyclops suit blasting his optic blast, which admittedly looks cool, but people are like, "Oh, it's we're back. This movie's gonna be so fire, peak fire, bro." Just like
is that really what people are saying on the internet?
I've seen it. It's sad.
People are saying that. I don't know if the movie's going to be good yet, but I'll say that I'm excited to see James Marsden as Cyclops again.
Well, what's funny is I saw that
hope they color correct his gloves.
I saw that test suit when they were shooting Deadpool versus Wolverine, and I was being told by people like, "Oh yeah, Marsden's going to be making a cameo in that." But apparently, we found out, oh no, it was just early plans for Doomsday. One thing that does bother me though is, since when does Cyclops' optic blast cause him pain?
Never.
He screams in pain as he's shooting it out.
I think he's just pissed.
I think he's just like that. I've seen a million and a half like comic book panels of Cyclops that look just like that. Like that. Like that's a nothing.
But aren't you hyped?
No.
I mean, like I said, I'm hyped to see James Marsden as Cyclops again. But as far as the rest of the movie goes, like
I did see.
I still want a good movie.
I just saw him. I'm sure that's pretty much the long and short of his appearance before he's killed.
Might be, yeah.
Oh, are they going to pull like a Crisis on Infinite Earths where it's just like a bunch of, and this is where this person is, and this is where that person is, and then
I mean, like what they did with the CW, probably because again, the Russo brothers are TV directors pretending to be film directors, and they fooled enough people. But it's the curtain has been pulled away, and we can see the man operating the machine behind them, and it brings us some concern.
They've been studying the visuals, though. They said of Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, visual. I mean, if there's anything, I guess, to study from him, it's that. As long as you don't use the same stupid filter.
Oh, I mean the oversaturation and the drop up the saturation and drop down the contrast. And
I was about what's saturation? Everything's gray.
Well, that's been Marvel movies for a while now, because you've had. You had like Ant-Man Quantumanium, which is just brown sludge smeared across the screen. And, that's like just what CGI is now. It used to be.
Well, that's Victoria Alonso not getting her plates done in time at the request of oh gosh, Peyton. What's his Reed? Yes, Peyton Reed. Which he'll have a book, I'm sure, coming out about the difficulties of directing Ant-Man Quantumania in like 5 or 10 years. Because like I've heard enough rumors from people that have worked literally like with him on that movie about the frustrations he had, especially when Iger came in after Chapek was ousted and was told, yeah, you got to make this movie more funny. And you've got 6 weeks to do it.
Well, they didn't
not funny.
succeed.
No.
But because again, the stuff that I heard is Kang wins at the end of Quantumania with Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne trapped in the quantum realm and him in the real world. That was the ending.
That makes more sense, especially because you're trying to set up the Kang dynasty.
Yeah. So
why couldn't they just have recasted Jonathan Majors?
No one would have cared.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one. Not a single soul would have cared. This isn't like, I'm sorry. And y'all need to get over it. They need to recast freaking Black Panther 2. Like, I'm sorry. God bless the man. He put on a smile and some awesome work ethic while he was going through hell. But everybody has been recast in a role at some point when it comes to characters that have existed for decades and decades. How many Bonds do we have? How many Spider-Man do we have? How many Batman have we had? Right? Like, this isn't
9.
We've had multiple Hulks. We've had multiple Captain Americas. We've had and I mean Steve Rogers, by the way. And we've had multiple, like, all sorts of characters. This should not be a big deal. I'm sorry. This might hurt some people's feelings, but just because you played a prominent Black superhero doesn't make you special that you don't get to get recast.
Well, he didn't want that anyway. And by the way, I would love it if they recast the Hulk, the current Hulk.
Oh yeah, well, no, please God, that's almost.
I'd
more
tolerate
important.
Edward Norton coming back because at least he.
I would love him coming back. And to be very clear, yeah, they Ruddy in the chat just said, yeah, they recast War Machine too, or no, that was
No, they did.
Enrique Vasquez. Yes, they recast him within the same freaking continuity, right?
Yep.
And I want to be clear, that wasn't me making a dig at Chadwick Boseman. That's me taking a shot at Marvel Studios when it comes to not wanting to recast.
I thought you were going edgy finally.
Oh, no.
Andrew, as a complete aside, do you remember when Todd McFarlane put out the special Chadwick Boseman homage Spawn cover with Chadwick Boseman as Spawn in like the Black Panther pose?
No.
And sold that as a variant?
Oh, that's really tacky.
Yeah, I don't actually remember that. That's kind of tasteless.
That's a thing that happened.
Oh God, why? Don't do that, Todd. Come on.
Tom McFarlane, you're better than that.
Is he?
He was better than that.
Well, was this
When?
was this after the
90s?
lawsuit with Neil Gaiman?
This is after, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe he needed a little quick cash.
Although now in retrospect, I mean, everybody was on Neil Gaiman's side, and now in retrospect, it's like,
Now
I
everybody
was not
hates
on
Neil
Gaiman's
Gaiman.
side. I've heard of him going to college campuses and banging women there since as early as 2007.
Yeah, no, I had heard those rumors too. You know, like most things in the comic industry, you know, it's like when I got in and, you know, you would hear these things, you know, there's always somebody talking trash about somebody that they didn't like or anything. So you would just take it all with a grain of salt because, you know, you didn't know the guy, you didn't know it was true.
Sure, people say stuff all the time.
Yeah, but those rumors were around forever. So like when it all kind of like finally came out in those lawsuits, it was like not surprising. Just like before the whole Bryan Singer story broke, my friend Jesse and I had met a toy dealer who used to be a child actor, and he said, yeah, like you know, but years before this story was out there, he was like, oh yeah, no, Bryan Singer's a predator, and he talked about like I've been up to his house in the Hollywood Hills, you know, like doing the. Like he's doing a party, and he goes, and I actually witnessed him almost drown a kid, like a 16-year-old hopeful young gay actor, by trying to force him to go down on him in the jacuzzi and almost drowned him. And they had to give the kid CPR. You know, so like I had heard those stories years before the Bryan Singer stuff broke. But you go, oh, I don't know firsthand, so I don't know. I mean, it sounds crazy, you know. But then you find out, oh yeah, no, it sounds plausible actually.
No, I mean, I know the Neil Gaiman thing firsthand because one of my friend's fiance slept with him, and it broke him psychologically afterwards because she still wanted to marry him after. He's like, no, how can I do that? You just betrayed me with Neil Gaiman. And as for the Bryan Singer thing, like I was an extra on X-Men, but I was a kid, and the first AD would not let us talk to the director.
Ooh.
And I thought that was I didn't understand at the time, and then I learned a few years later. It's like, well, yeah, he likes younger men. That's the one thing that I've been able to confirm. He likes younger men, and he doesn't always do his due diligence verifying the age of the younger men. I'll put it to you that way. And that's where he gets into a lot more trouble than he should, because a lot of people that have wanted to work with Bryan Singer or want to get that leg up have lied about their age to everybody. And women do that too a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole Me Too thing. The whole Me Too thing. Like there's tons of that's like there's tons of predators in Hollywood. Obviously Harvey Weinstein. Scumbag, needed to go down, got everything he deserved. Yep. But at the same time, there's a lot of women that willingly throw themselves at that, and it's like, am I supposed to feel bad for them? Like you were willing to do this.
Yeah,
and I don't know that I feel bad for you.
I've never felt bad for any of the women that have slept their way to get some attention, because that they knew what they were doing. One thing that I always have been bothered by is this big conflation of like where the predators are, because if you work in the studio system, you already have women throwing yourselves at you. Mm-hmm. But if you're not there, if you're basically in the independent system, like you work for Asylum, the studios, which make those cheap knockoff films, that is littered with predators, because there's so many people desperate for that first step. And that's where all of that happens. If you try to go to Warner Brothers studio, not a single executive will hit on you, because they don't have to and they don't care. The moment that you find out who they are in their position, you're going to already start flirting with them, and they know it. So, and that puts them in the position why you don't see those scandals happen at the high studio levels. You only ever hear of someone obscure that like Harvey Weinstein was always independent, and the reason he was never able to get any closer or higher on the chain for that is because the studios didn't like him or his behavior. Mm-hmm. But then what did he do? Well, he manipulated his power with the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences. He manipulated his power by being able to circumvent a lot of casting directors and find potential stars. He also knew how to find all the independent people that had great ideas for stories and exploit them under Miramax or later the Weinstein Company. And he was a powerhouse because he found and was a kingmaker. And you don't become a kingmaker in the studio system. You always become in the smaller independent stuff, because that's where the attention happens. That's where the risks are made. And that's where the exploitation occurs.
Yeah. I mean, I knew an actress who flat out told me that like Harvey Weinstein's disgusting, but if it would have got me a role, I would have slept with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like what?
I've been in a situation where I had a couple of young actors who are about 16 and 17. They hired me to write the monologues so they could put it as part of their scene reels. And then I remember working on a small project, and the producer said that, yeah, he's going out on a date with this girl. She says her name. And I'm like, you're going out with a 17-year-old? And he literally went ghost white. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, I know her. I just did a contract with her. I did this. And like, she's 17. And he's just like, no. She told me she was 22. It's like, no, man, she's 17.
Oh, man.
And he didn't go out on a date with her afterwards. Like he called her on it. And she eventually said the truth, but that's what happens. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have anyone in your corner that knows that details and pulls it out for them, like, again, a lot of people are going to find themselves in some really bad situations. That's just the industry when you're desperate. I mean,
always ask for ID is what I say.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I did whenever I'd be hired on to work for monologues and stuff. It's like, yeah, I want a monologue. Okay. What type? Oh, I want to do this. It's like, okay, if that feels like it's going to be like close to R-rated, I need to see some ID.
Yeah.
Because if you just want to do a talking scene, I'll write you a talking scene. That's great. But if you want like, an actual scene with other actors and stuff, and it's maybe hot and heavy because you want to sell your sex appeal, I'm not writing you anything unless I know how old you actually are.
Yep.
And I would take, a photo of the ID. I would send it to my contact at the LAPD. Can you run a check on this? Can you make sure it's real, legit? Mm-hmm. A week or two later, I'd get a confirmation back, yes or no. And then that's when I would, pull the trigger, collect my payment, dish out the scene, and, move on to the next job.
Better be the greatest scene you've ever written for all that effort.
I was going to say, wow.
Well,
that's a lot of work.
I usually charge about like at least $4,500 for like a 3-page scene if an actor wants to do that for their reel. And that's just the writing part. So
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's worth it.
Well, there you go. It's worth it.
Damn, I'm undercharging.
Yeah, you're not charging at least like $4,000. Yeah, you.
Well, we definitely jumped from Star Wars to Marvel, which was our other topic. Let's check in with the audience, and then we'll see what else there is to talk.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I think that was my fault.
Dude, we've got 3 weeks of pent up things to talk about.
Right? Yeah.
I checked out of all kinds of pop culture stuff and the news and everything. I was just like, it's Christmas, it's New Year's. I don't care anymore. And I loved it. I was genuinely happy. And then I looked at my phone today and everything. I was like, here we go again. And here we are.
I think that's part of Hollywood's problem that they're having, Jeff, is that people have checked out overall. And they're not paying attention to movies that are coming out. They don't care anymore. They got other things going on. They got a million things to do. And they've realized, after COVID kind of broke them of the habit of paying attention to movies and TV, they're kind of happier.
Yeah. And then, after living through disappointments like Stranger Things and just general wrestling and Anaconda kind of sucking, I'm just ready to move into other things to keep my attention.
Yeah,
I don't know what they'll be, but I'm looking for them, folks. Give me a hobby down in the chat. I won't go fishing, though. It's too cold this time of year. Friend Sejorjan, thank you very much for being a member for 34 months. Thank you, Sejorjan. IO Interactive, you had one job. Give us a womanizing Agent 47 with hair. Now you threw out buzzwords like modern audiences and made James Bond beholden to an Indian call center staff.
Oh my God, are they doing that? There's an Indian call center staff?
I got to look into it. The more I hear about this Bond game, the less I'm interested in it.
I played a demo this months ago.
How is it?
It was actually not too bad. The situation was Bond was this young guy who, he's not like a real good agent or anything of specialty yet, but the plot that you play is that he defies the order of the woman to go and investigate, and he ends up becoming a hero for that. He bucks the system. And the gameplay was a little crappy from my perspective, but that part was interesting. And if we're going to get that type of Bond where, there's a bunch of women and authority around him that are not M and the goal is, screw you, I'm going to do what's right for king and country, then that's very Bond. And you want your antagonist to be with not just within MI6, but also the people that he's assigned to go after to try and throw obstacles at him. And if it happens to be, using regular DEI characters, then that's a commentary against DEI because you have the hero defying the DEI hire in order to get the job done. And if that ends up being the case in the final product, which, from that demo it seemed to be, I'm all for it. But if it's not, what a missed opportunity, right? Because you could have made a very based game that still fits within the overall essence of James Bond.
I don't know what the deal is with James Bond. Why is that the one franchise that always gets commented on, experimented with? And why don't the people that hold the rights just say, shut the fuck up?
Well, the people that hold the rights are just lucky enough to have the rights. The other part too is that Bond is, he's counter to the liberty mindset that's usually in the United States. You have an agent of the government who is tasked with killing anybody and never facing any consequences for it, aside from the fact that he himself might also be killed in the process. And it doesn't matter who's in charge, whether it's a king, whether it's a queen, whether it's the prime minister, whatever his orders are, he will follow them, even if they are, to a degree, counter to the interests of the free world. That is what a spy is. A spy has loyalty to their boss under the guise of their country. And that's what makes them very dangerous and not very trustworthy. But James Bond is the fascinating, interesting one because it's a Cold War character, and he's directed at a very public enemy, which is the forces behind the Iron Curtain, and the forces that might be controlling the forces behind the Iron Curtain, Inspector or Smersh, as it was originally. That was cool. It makes him more of a hero, but it's also, a little bit propaganda because, again, Ian Fleming was really good at propaganda. for the Allies. He's the reason why the CIA exists. He's the one that helped set up Camp X in Canada, which trained the CIA and the Canadian Secret Service as well, which both are not to be trusted. But the character himself is like, here, we'll take an agent of the government, kind of a pro-government type of character, and we'll point him at something that we can say is the enemy of our freedoms, our patriotisms, our country, and our way of life. And now that that enemy no longer exists, there's a lot more scrutiny over to what the character is, what he stands for, how he plays into a world that's more familiar.
That enemy exists, script, but now the call is coming from inside the house.
Exactly. I mean, if anything, the call has always been coming inside the house. The first one is like, there's someone outside. Go get him. Mm-hmm. And now that you're back inside, it's like, okay, now you see that gun? Yeah, just point it at yourself.
So Georgian, thank you. I will let you know. When does that game come out? It got pushed back, right? So
got pushed back to what, mid this year, I think, or something.
Yeah,
like
it gives me plenty of time to not play my other video games, and I'll eventually get that James Bond game, and we'll stream it on Twitch, guys. I am a James Bond fan. I want to do more James Bond content.
End of May.
Well, it's perfect. I got a lot of stuff to take care of. Well, it'll be great. It'll be mid-Mandalorian rush, which all 7 people will be in a theater to watch.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like it's going to be a big blockbuster to me. I don't know about you guys.
No, not at all. And I don't. Do I sound like an asshole if I don't care if it flops or not? I'm just not invested.
Oh, I want it. I actively want it to flop. So I'm an even bigger asshole. If you're an asshole, I'm a colossal asshole because I've gotten to the point where I'm actively rooting against any Star Wars project. I want that to fail. I want Starfighter to fail. I just want it to be done. I want them to just salt the earth to such a degree that they stop molesting Star Wars in front of all of us.
Do you think Starfighter is going to flop?
Yeah. It depends on the budget. Depends on the budget, but I don't think they're pulling people back in. Star Wars is just not culturally relevant anymore.
That's my whole point with Dave Filoni. It's like it's all hype for nothing. It's like, all right, yeah, we got this new guy in, and nobody watches.
I mean, well, the sad truth is that Star Wars was at its peak between 1996 and 2002. That was the highest it had ever been.
But merchandise wise, it was making a ton of money right before Lucas sold it to Disney.
It was because I mean, you're talking about the so the collecting market took over after Revenge of the Sith, and that sustained Star Wars for about a decade. Mm-hmm. The thing is that its cultural impact and its cultural application at the time almost vanished off the face of the earth from 2006 to up until the announcement that Lucasfilm was being sold to Disney. Like Clone Wars was around, but it wasn't dominating the conversation the way that the prequel trilogy was just a decade earlier. It just wasn't there. Mm-hmm. It was a popular, sustainable, quiet franchise. It was essentially parallel to what Star Trek was at Paramount, only it made way more money because it hit to a broader fan base than what Star Trek had. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was the biggest franchise in the world twice. Once in the 80s. And again, at the end of the turn of the century, and it only fleetingly was big again when The Force Awakens came out of anticipation, and then it cratered. But to think, or to at least project to the world that it was the biggest franchise for 40 years running until Disney bought it is a flat out lie. And
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, its books did well. Its video games were amazing, but again, video games in the 90s still a niche market. Nowhere near as big as what they are today. And what type of games is Lucasfilm doing today to compete into that? Because Lucasfilm, one of the things that made Lucasfilm great and LucasArts great is that every project that they did, they're trying to add something new for the audience. Mm-hmm. Since Disney purchased, nothing new has ever been added to Star Wars.
I mean, there's DLC that was added to the games. That's, loot boxes. That's a great addition, right, Script?
That's a superficial thing, yes. But again, I mean, after Wolfenstein came out, Lucasfilm said, you know what, we can kind of do that for Star Wars, and we made Dark Forces. And then they just made it more than just what Wolfenstein was. They added in extra elements, and they elevated it to the the Jedi Outcast series, Jedi Knight, then Jedi Outcast series, and then they did Star Wars Galaxies, which if you got to play that game,
that was fun,
better than WoW.
Mhm.
But it was so hard to sustain, and they didn't have the only big flaw is they didn't have a proper internal economy. And and then the other part too, partnering with Sony for an online game is always a stupid decision. They can't do it.
Yeah.
But then it collapsed, and then it was replaced with SWTOR, which was still fun, but it was very restrictive compared to what you got with Galaxies.
Yeah, I loved it though. I loved both.
Oh,
those
I
games.
loved it too. I mean, every single class, every single storyline was really inventive to see. One of the things I did hate is the fact that carbonite freezing became a normal form of stasis as opposed to the very dangerous and risky procedure that Han Solo was used as a test subject on.
Yep.
Kind of deflates that drama.
But
What
I'm
if he
just
does-
not serious you took that.
I was like, to get Boba Fett going, what if he doesn't survive? And Vader's like, we do it all the time. It's
Yeah, it's fine. What are you talking about? This is standard operating procedure, Boba Fett.
That's how I got rid of Jar Jar Binks. Remember when they sold that toy, Aaron?
Yeah. Yeah, you bought the whole big thing at San Diego Comic-Con. You had the little frozen Jar Jar in the middle.
Did you get one?
I did.
Oh, nice. I didn't go to San Diego that year, and I have sworn off ever spending money on Episode 1 merchandise again.
Well, you got a bunch of characters from all from the prequels, so it was
I get a Qui-Gon lightsaber because that's
lightsaber.
good looking weapon. Yeah.
The last lightsaber I bought was Leia's saber. Or no, wait. Or was it? Yeah,
I'm
it was
more of a
Leia's-
Revan guy myself.
Leia's saber because they showed up at Ross for $40.
Yeah, I was looking for lightsabers at Ross. Didn't find any.
Do you need the Leia one? I might have an extra.
No, I would only buy 2 lightsabers. A green Luke Skywalker or a blue Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I only bought them with the intent of selling them because I was like, for $40, I could probably sell them or like swap out the blades or something. Now, when the Rey lightsaber hit, I did want to pick up 2 of those just because I wanted to put them on a double-bladed saber just so I could have Bastila Shan's lightsaber from Old Republic.
Respect.
I never found them though, and then I was like, eh.
I bought.
Didn't lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, I bought too much stuff at Ross this year, but some of it was gifts. So,
Did you buy any G.I. Joes?
no, I don't have any GI Joe people in my life that I know. You guys are all online friends, so
I hunted down so many snow serpents. I didn't need any more eels. Like I had already gotten enough cobra eels, but I was like, man, I ordered 2 of those Arctic Hiss tanks, and I'm gonna need crews for those. So yeah, I was on the hunt. I think I ended up with like 20 snow serpents.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's out of control, Jeff. I need help. I have a problem.
I mean, how would you like
Everybody's got to have
me
a
to help?
hobby.
Would you like me to come take them from you?
No, the
Forcefully?
way to solve this problem is not to purge the fixation, but to basically set yourself a goal of what is it that you need to make sure that you stop.
No. I don't want to stop. That's not the issue. I don't want to stop. The issue is that my
Said
place
every
is not,
addict ever.
it's not big enough. My place isn't big enough. So how do I get to that bigger place where now number
We
one?
we
is
just
out of
need
California.
Kneel Before Doomface number 2 to do like I don't know, $300,000.
I would love that. I'm looking into some ways to make that happen. So
That I mean,
And then
well,
we'll
listen,
do
you're
the
in-
same thing with Stealing Solo 3, and then both of you schmucks will have plenty of space to put all your action figures.
Well, I mean, that's a fair and stays in California, which don't get me wrong, it looks like housing prices might plummet after the next governor election. So you might be able to get that mansion for a steal, and you'd have like a whole wing dedicated to G.I. Joe.
that might be good, but I'm gonna need like voter ID to pass, like so that we have a chance in this state to like kind of maybe save it from the wreckage of Gavin Newsom. But
I'm
we'll see,
hoping
but-
it does, because that. I mean, again, like
good luck.
everybody, there's been a California exodus for years now.
Yeah,
I was one of
And
them.
that's
I
what's
know they
hurting
were
me.
all showing up in Austin when I was living there.
the problem is they move into Austin and they vote the same way.
They also
Yeah.
moved
So
to
then they turned Austin
Colorado.
into, you
They also
know,
moved
yeah.
to Nebraska, New Mexico, a few to Florida. Some have come up to Canada, and they went to British Columbia, which is just as bad as California.
Well, Aaron, when you do decide to evacuate, let me know. I'll help you move.
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be good. I will. The biggest, my collection is the biggest thing about moving. It's like, okay, so how would I get all this into a truck?
Well, first of all, you have to hire a white glove
Safely.
service.
Yeah. I'd have to. So my uncle does. He's got like a bunch. He owns a ship services, which is the only one like left in California where you if a ship breaks down, one of the big tankers or there's like a spill or something like that, they go and they take care of it. So he's got like trucks that go to like Texas all the time, and I'm just like, hey, can I just borrow one of those trucks and just ship all my stuff? Move to Texas.
What would you do in Texas?
I don't know. I'd stand outside of the Rippaverse and I'd be like, "Hey, you guys hiring?"
I'll find something for you to do.
I just moved. I need a job. You guys need a janitor or something?
Our friend Troubles08 has our first word of the day for 2026, and that word is Coke. Dude, who took my Coke? Weekend Coke with Maduro and Coke. Avengers Coke Day. Coke Wars. Debbie Does Coke. My Big Black Ass presents Escape from New Coke and Fistful of Coke.
The Koch brothers.
Oh.
Lord of the Coke.
On Coke and Pond.
Honey, I coked the kids.
Oh, God.
Now, enough about Nick Rekieta.
Amazon Women on the Coke.
Oh, internet drama. How it never ceases to amaze
It's so
me.
funny because I know such random, like I killed Andrew.
Oh, no,
I
he
know-
died.
I know such small bits of internet drama.
God.
Just like such little bits come into my sphere. And so I just throw that stuff out there and see what happens.
Oh,
Ah.
the Coke and the Canary.
Ah.
That's a throwback to like late 30s films.
Me, my Coke, and Irene.
Field of Coke.
Field of Coke. That's good.
10 things I hate about Coke.
State and Coke.
How to lose Coke in 10 days.
Red Coke.
Apparently,
Silent Night, Deadly Coke.
I was going to piggyback off of yours, Andrew, by saying apparently you just go to the White House when your dad's Joe Biden.
Got him.
Come on, man. One more from each of us. How about, let's see.
Tiger Coke 3.
Coke to the future.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Coke.
You got so freaking high, you thought you traveled to the future.
The Coke guy.
Coke not included.
Damn. See, you pull some deep cuts that I'm like, you're not old enough to know that movie.
Jessica Tandy and Hugh Cronin?
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah, it came out the year I was born, I believe.
Yes.
So
I
your
think it
parents
did.
were watching it when you were a kid. You were like, okay,
That also played on TV a lot too during the 90s. So
that's true.
I rented it from the library. I remember that vividly because I remember renting that and Ghostbusters, which I'd already seen a bunch. But it was one of those movies that I would catch on TV only. And I was like, wait, I can watch Ghostbusters whenever I want to? And my life changed. Speaking of Aaron, my Ecto 1 did arrive. My giant HasLab exclusive. So
Cool.
Oh.
You gotta put up pics, man. I want to see it.
It's in a shipping box.
I need my evolved Godzilla to arrive from Hiya Toys.
Oh, you're getting all those little Hiya Toys Godzillas. Oh, you and Silvani would hit it off on that.
They just, man, they look better than the SHS Monster Arts ones.
Yeah.
They've gone downhill across the board with their
they're
entire
like
toy line.
half the price.
Oh, Hiya Toys. They if they were not 3 3/4 scale, if they were bigger, I would buy everything they make. And it's so hard not to buy the stuff they make because they're doing G.I. Joe now in 3 3/4. Looks amazing. They're doing Ninja Turtles. They look amazing.
Oh, nice. Like I've got almost every single one of their Monsterverse line, except for I don't yet have any of the versions of Kong, and I don't have Scar King. But I had once my evolved Godzilla arrives, which I just got the shipping email today. Once it arrives, I'll have every single Godzilla they've released, and then I have King Ghidorah from King of the Monsters, and that sucker is huge.
Oh yeah.
He is massive. His wingspan is like, because of the way that we have the frames here, like you can't see how far my hands are right now. But that's like, it has to stay in the box right now because I literally don't have space for it anywhere. I'm like, I have to set up a dedicated Monsterverse like case or something, and that is on my list of things to try and do.
See, that's the struggle, man. If the space is always the struggle. I've got, like, I'm sitting here and you guys can't see it, but I'm sitting here and there's my desk. And then on this side of my desk, there's a rack of paints. On this side of my desk, there's a rack of paints. In front of those are various like figures and pieces that are in the process of being customized. And then I've got my setup here for podcasting, like, and the work that I do, on scripts and editing and things like that is all right here.
Yeah.
So like I have like various things where I'm like, okay, clear this so that I can do this task. Now clear this so I can do this task.
Yeah.
Sounds like me. That's why I want to get more space.
For real.
Because it's like I just turned my chair and I'm there.
So we need the compound. We need the compound.
Yeah.
Well, I also just took up drawing again a little more regularly, and I got a drawing pad. And this thing takes up like half of my desk.
The digital pad or like a paper pad?
It's a digital pad.
Oh, nice. Who'd you go with?
X Pen.
Oh, nice.
I hear good things.
X Pen, whatever the hell it's called. I don't remember the model. X Pen something. It's really awkward trying to get used to because it's not a tablet, right? In that like you're drawing on a screen, you're drawing on a pad, and like so I'm not used to looking here at my monitor, but like my arm is down here, right?
That's how I did the first Stealing Solo.
There's a muscle memory I'm having to like slowly develop right now, and it's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
It'll get crazier.
Why people like digital drawing though.
It'd be crazier once you go back to digital drawing on a screen, because that'll take you time to get used to again. But I don't know if this is you, but for me, it was I got acclimated to my Wacom tablet. I couldn't draw on paper because I wasn't used to looking at my hand anymore. I was used to just watching the little cursor. Then when I went to this iPad, it took me a while to get back to drawing where I could see my hand. I know it's a crazy concept, but now I draw back on everything. But it was weird, that window of time when I only used that tablet, nothing but the tablet, man. I couldn't. I was so trained on it. But it's a great tool.
Yeah.
What program are you using?
Clip Studio.
That was what I used for the first Stealing Solo when it was Manga Studio back in the day.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. It's just it's that learning phase.
Oh yeah.
Get used to everything.
But once you get your presets and everything set up the way you like it, I mean, you'll draw so much. Hell, on vacation, I was in the mood or in the zone, and I drew like 6 hours straight on my phone. I just killed the battery because I just couldn't stop doing little sketches on the app. But I've just been working on anatomy and shit like crazy and all these new techniques. Folks, I'm sure I'll share them at some point before Stealing Solo 3 comes out. I'm not going to talk about shit and never share it with you.
That reminds me, Jeff. I feel like I'm going to need, I know that we've mentioned it before, but I feel like I'm going to need a Jeff Hicks Kneel Before Doomface cover for issue 2.
Yeah.
You just got to show me, tell me when it's due and give me character design model sheets so I can get the characters down. And yeah, that sounds fun.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So Georgian says, Merry New Year! Time to bankrupt the Dukes brothers with the future of frozen concentrated orange juice. And I made a bet. $1. I love that movie so much.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
I've met a real life Dan Aykroyd in the Trading Places situation. It's a female version of this person who's never
for real?
Yeah, who's never been on their, who's now on their own for the very first time. And yeah, she's too old to learn new tricks. So she's having a lot of struggles, but one of the companies I'm working for is trying to like help her so that she can be on her own, because she had her entire life, her hand has been held for her.
Mm-hmm.
And now that hand is gone and she's lost. And it's shocking to see a person of over the age of 60 like that.
Is she a Rothschild or something?
I have no idea, but I will say this. She's incredibly well learned, but she just doesn't have an independent bone in her body to be able to be self-sufficient. Like, you can ask her about anything, she knows it. You can vet what she just said and find the sources and see that it's 100% accurate. But she is, you ask her like, hey, can you send me a text on your phone? She cannot figure out how to do that because someone used to do that for her.
Oh,
And she doesn't know how to drive because someone used to drive her around all the time for her.
oh, I love that movie. Who was Morgan Freeman in this role for her? Did she have an old black guy drive her around?
No. It was someone that her ex-husband hired for her.
Oh, okay.
And then prior to that, her dad, who's this really important guy, had a private driver for her.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I still like to imagine it's Morgan Freeman. Don't take that from me.
It could have been. In between acting gigs in the early 80s before he took off.
Yeah, he's like, look, I did the electric company and some other shit you've never heard of. I needed to work.
And then
he was a biographical picture.
Driving Miss Daisy's like, I'm perfect for this. I just do this for a younger version of that lady.
Thank you, Sejorjan. Overkill 161. What is up? He says Dave Filoni is full of baloney. He's corny that cribs from the EU. He's a crony that cribs from the EU. With his cowboy hat, I will fill it with dog poo. Button number 26, please.
You know what I find more annoying than Dave Filoni's cowboy hat is his little baby orange juice teeth. And I say that because a friend of mine coined that phrase when she goes, little baby orange juice teeth. And I started laughing. And she goes, you know what I mean, right? And I'm like, are you talking about like little kids when they have their baby teeth and they just drank some orange juice and they're laughing and they have orange juice on their teeth? She's like, yes, exactly. That's exactly what I meant. She's like, this is why we're friends. And that's what he's got. He's got little baby teeth and it looks like he's toothless. Every time he's standing there with his, with his smile, he looks like a guy who has no teeth in his head, who's just like taking his dentures out.
Just like Ryan Johnson. If you put them close together and you see the way that they smile and how they talk, there's a lot of familiarity in the way that they speak and how their face executes that form of speech. And you're like, yeah, that's a creepy person.
Yeah.
I was about to say, don't you dare tell me they're clones. Because I would never get it.
They're not, but I mean,
that's the true Clone Wars.
They're both aging to a point where I bet in a decade you could put them side by side and say, yeah, they're probably related.
They're probably the same guy.
Yeah. We'll do the same amount of damage to Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not fair. The Last Jedi is just unforgivably terrible. The other ones are at least...
Yeah.
Well, the Clone Wars is at least,
I mean, even
Clone Wars is watchable.
Ahsoka's boring, but it's not unwatchable. Like, it's boring and it doesn't make sense and it's like crappily executed and the action scenes suck and there's no logic to the actions of the characters or the actions of the action scenes. But you can sit there and watch it. Like Last Jedi, like I wanted to set the theater on fire.
Last Jedi hurts because there's so many aspects of it that are very well made on a production side, but on a creative choice side, it is ass backwards retarded. And then on top of that, like I could watch The Acolyte a lot easier than I could watch Ahsoka, because even though The Acolyte does a lot of horrible things, it is better written, it has better stage choreography, it has better logic and understanding and motivation, and it brings something new to Star Wars, which, I mean, I know a lot of people like to say, oh, it's trying to usurp what the Force is. No, it's just evil witches have their own interpretation of it, and it's a perversion of it, and if a perversion should not be treated as the same thing, it should be noted as that, and that's what the story kind of does. But it at least makes some sort of sense, as hokey as it gets towards the end, where Ahsoka, it's all, we're going to get a whole bunch of these hyperspace generators to fly to the point of the galaxy because this ancient orb told us this is where we have to go to find Thrawn before he ever existed, before he got lost from some sort of space whales from some Ezra guy. And it's just a convoluted mess. And
I also didn't give Rosario Dawson anything to do other than stand and cross her arms for like
that's
half
what
of the show
Dave
too.
Filoni thinks is what Jedi do and is what's dramatic. Like,
yeah, he thinks that's stoic. She's being stoic and wise.
That's not being stoic.
And the thing is,
being boring, and that's being static. There's
it's not knowing what to do with the character's hands when there's nothing actioning going on. And then even when he does have action going on, they didn't like get her any good fight choreography or train her, obviously, because she's so slow. She's moving like a grandmother.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Rosario Dawson, even though she's getting closer to 50 than she is at the 30, she's still in really good shape for her age. So she can do this stuff. The other part,
she still looks good.
Well, the other part, which is the most egregious aspect, is, and this is unfortunately something that's been perpetrated by the EU, is the whole idea that the Jedi aren't supposed to have personality. When the very first Jedi we met was Obi-Wan, who is essentially like Han Solo but disciplined. And then the next Jedi we meet is Yoda, who is incredibly wise but knew how to get in touch with, a silly side, to have dimensions to their character. And then you read certain stories with Luke, and he's like this silent stoic type that is completely the opposite of this guy who had energy and smiled and was happy to be there to save you. And it's like, well, you just missed. Did you watch the movies? Did you see what was going on there? Like he hugged his sister, and now you're writing a book where it's like, yeah, he hugs her, but it was cold. It was lifeless. He was thinking about Obi-Wan and how his ghost hasn't appeared in years. Like, that's boring and dumb. That's you not really getting what Star Wars is. And sadly, no one at Lucasfilm pointing out and saying, yeah, you know what? That doesn't really feel authentic to Luke Skywalker, but yeah, who cares? It's a book. It's not as canon as the real stuff. And that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Reading some of the EU novels, it just was like, oh, this is a cool plot. Oh, cool. This is an interesting character. Why does Luke not act like Luke? Why does Han not act like Han? It's like, just boggled my mind. And then we got to see Dave Filoni bring all those flaws up to 11 in cartoon and live action.
Yep. Yeah, but at least he gave us helicopter lightsabers. What an idea.
Oh God, the entire idea of like the Inquisitors is so stupid, because it completely says, yeah, Darth Vader didn't do it. It was the Inquisitors on his command. It's the Heath Ledger Joker did everything. It's like, no, he told the mob to do it. The mob is doing everything. They're just blaming the Joker because he's the scapegoat, and that's what they're doing it for. Like, that's it's just
told me it was hard.
Basic story elements and narrative and cause and effect, and they're completely thrown out the window for the sake of let's try and be way more artsy and not even understand what the art is we're doing.
Well, speaking of art, number 26 is a very artistic button, and I hope you enjoy it right now.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video up.
Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
That man is dead.
I don't know. He was pretty limp. He might be okay.
Nobody dies on this channel. They just get really big boo-boos.
Oh, what's that?
And then Shrubbles08 also had a request for another button. No problem. See, when Dion or Mary or other people who aren't afraid of your old pal Buffalo Jeff aren't here, I don't have to sneak away. So we'll just press the button now and make it happen. Buffalo Jeff is always watching you. Just remember that.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
me, your old pal Buffalo Jeff.
The fact that the eyes just linger gets me every time.
Okay, so this is gonna be a little nuts, but maybe not that surprising for some people. That was the first time I looked at the right side of the screen and saw that in the Pokemon font it said, "Oh no, it's Buffalo Jeff." I always just like it's like staring at the sun. You know you're not supposed to, but you can't look away, or a car crash type of a deal, where it's like I'm just waiting to see the like glowing red eyes slowly fade away. But for whatever reason, tonight was the first time I was like, what's on the right side of the screen, Andrew? Oh.
I'm glad you too talk to yourself in third person.
You know, sometimes I ask myself,
Anyway, our friend Shrubbles08, thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed the Buffalo Jeff button. Here's one more since Christmas is over, but I'm still feeling festive.
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
Watched it for Christmas. Love that movie.
Did you really?
My favorite thing about that movie is the idea that the guy with the garbage cans didn't see him until he moved the garbage can, as if that the camera's perspective is in all the man's perspective.
I'm gonna send you a video for a new button, Jeff, that I think you'll like. It's pretty.
Please
fun.
do. I'm always down to make more buttons here.
I have one too from a movie called Miami Connection.
Oh, I know Miami Connection.
Yeah, I just my mother was Korean and my father was a Black American. Like that whole speech is gold.
Send me a link to it and I'll make it a button.
Okay.
Thank you, Shrevels08. So, now that we're all caught up, okay, hold on. Our friend John Thomas, thank you. Very generous super chat. John Thomas says, Dave Felicio is responsible for non-lethal lightsabers by bringing back Darth Maul. He'll have 2 girls in it and make it gayer. I hope his Ahsoka doll springs a leak.
I'm okay. I'm more okay with Darth Maul than I am with anybody who gets impaled with a saber, because Darth Maul cut right across, cauterized, like the dark side. I like the idea that your hate can keep you alive. Like that's a dark side power. It works for Darth Sion and Knights of the Old Republic too.
Yeah, and also on top of that, Dave Filoni wasn't the first person to bring back Darth Maul. The E did that first in the comics.
Yep. Yes, they did.
So that's like, we can't really. One, I agree with you, Aaron, on like, I think you can, like, if you make it cool, you can sell me on that, right? Like, oh, your anger and your hatred was that powerful that it like kept you alive just barely, and long enough for you to like get fixed up and whatever. I was fine with that. Not once did that bother me.
Well,
people getting
established
stabbed right through the abdomen in freaking in Ahsoka and in other things.
Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Yep.
Yeah, like we're just leaving it there and cooking the guts and the insides and things like that. All right, well, okay, but and not even doing anything to make me want to attempt to make any mental gymnastics. Be like, well, this still is at least cool, and so all right, let's at least keep telling a good story. Well, you're not doing any of that, so you are giving me no reasons to want to give you any benefit of the doubt. Darth Maul is cool, all right, so do something cool with Darth Maul, and I'm fine.
Well, I mean, to your point, they established that hate keeps a dark Jedi or a Sith alive, because when Vader, he's in that mechanical suit, his hate's keeping him alive. The moment he destroys the Emperor and, says that, tells Luke that he was right, there's no more hate left in him, and then he just dies. There's your cause and effect answers right there.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, Andrew,
you are still muted.
Oh, sorry.
Speaking of not being able to keep yourself alive, that is my cue. I have got to get going. But this was fun. You guys have a good rest of the show, and thank you to the chat.
We will, man. Let me know what you're going to be doing coming up in the future, and we'll talk again.
All right, man.
Hey, Aaron.
Have a good one, Aaron.
I don't want to keep saying I don't care, because that would be inaccurate. But I kind of watch Star Wars for a very specific element that isn't coming back. So I'll just get my old stuff. I got the new Han Solo figure. I'm very happy with that. I don't need lightsabers and Jedi. Just spaceship battles and non-Force related shit. But I don't think that Ryan Gosling movie is going to have enough of that.
No, it's going to use all the crutches that are available to them, which is, okay, we need more lightsabers. We need more Jedi. And we'll have maybe 1 or 2 space battles. And then, I mean, they'll shoot it cheap, but they'll spend way too much money on it, because that's what Disney does. Because all that money is being skimmed off at the top. It's the old J.J. Abrams model that a lot of studios are still using, and some that are trying to fight against it are having a difficult time because there's people rely on that money, and some of them are also the same people that broker the deals to get the movie financed in the first place, and they take that massive cut in order to secure that financing. So it's a really backwards game out in California there.
I don't miss J.J. Abrams at all.
No, he's struggling to stay on, which is very fun for me to watch.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't want to present myself as somebody that actually wants these people to fail, but dude, you kind of just like everything you touch turned to crap. Like he had the opposite of the Midas touch. Because I get it for a while. It was hot. But Star Trek, people hated Kelvin after a while. I wasn't one of them, but it did fall off. Star Wars. Some of his shows weren't as good as they used to be. The stuff he was producing. I just don't, I don't want to see him on anything with established lore. Let him make his own.
Well, even some of the own stuff that he almost got off the ground at Warner Brothers pittered out pretty quick. Because he did that sci-fi show that was kind of like a Twilight Zone, but an extended episode thing. Like the guy is a producer, wanted to be a director, wanted to be a writer. It's still a point of contention if he actually did truly write regarding Henry. I don't think he did. And the other part too is like, because of his quick success and his ability to sell well, so many people copied his idea and they got incredibly rich off of it that it's really done some pretty horrible damage to the industry. And now it's starting to recover, but now you got Ellison doing damage to the industry by instigating the bid to buy Warner Brothers. And now it looks like Netflix is going to get it, which means the one studio that was able to try to bounce back theaters is going to be likely owned by a company that has no interest in supporting movie theaters.
And after their Stranger Things season 5, it makes me question exactly what we'll get with Warner Brothers Entertainment moving forward. Because if Netflix, and I don't really care to make a video on this, folks, this is probably the one time I'll talk about it seriously, and then we'll probably joke about it on Thursday night. But you're watching a show about saving the end of the world from like reality breaking, and you get more attention on a I'm gay subplot. That's just going to be in more movies. Like, they're going to stop for dumb crap. It's like, oh, we're going to finally have this realization. Thanks, Superman, but could you stop the planet from crashing into the sun? Like, that kind of stuff just feels so out of place. And the acting was bad, and I'm just worried that that's our future with Netflix being the juggernaut it is.
Well, it might be because Netflix has mastered the algorithm of their users, and they make adjustments to everything that they co-finance to fit that algorithm. I mean, the reason Stranger Things has like 7 endings is because they knew a big portion of their audience base loves The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
7 endings is a lot.
It felt like that when I was watching. I was like, this feels like a ripoff. It felt like the end of the Avengers, though, when they put their little folders up with their names on it. It was like at the end of the credits when they all like had their autographs.
Which is a copy of Star Trek The Undiscovered Country, the way that they had signed off that one. The original cast had their signatures at the end of that movie.
It's a good movie, too.
It is. But no, that's the case there. So, yeah, Netflix has an algorithm that it does work. Like, there are the pockets of people out on the internet that don't like what happened with Stranger Things 5. They're there. But Netflix sees the real numbers, and this is why it becomes a very bitter truth, which is that Netflix doesn't care for their haters unless that haters crosses a certain threshold. And guess what? Those haters have never crossed the threshold that has caused Netflix to get worried. And they know the algorithm so well that they're most likely never going to have something that's going to do that, because the amount of subscribers they have on Netflix overwhelmingly like their content versus the ones that don't. And because again, if they didn't like the content, Netflix wouldn't be the #1 streaming service in the world.
Yeah,
that's just the hard facts of it, which means that you've got either an audience that's conditioned to not really be critical when it comes to the type of entertainment they digest, which means that they're doing the very thing that I wrote about on my Patreon last week, which is if you think that entertainment is an escapism, then that means that you think reality is a prison. And that's the exact antithesis of what a good story is supposed to do. And that leads to a lot of dangerous aspects, because you've got an algorithm that tells filmmakers how to make their movies. You then have a customer base that's trained by the algorithm. And then on top of that, in order to better strengthen the algorithm, you have people that watch movies and then write a summary of it that goes into an AI that helps target those movies to people to watch on Netflix. So if you like Tom Hanks, you'll get a list of all certain Tom Hanks movies. But if you like Tom Hanks in an army movie and you like another army movie, you'll then get a list of suggested for other army films. It's a frightening network. And yeah, it's going to also prevent a lot of the people from being able to discover something really great, because it's an affirmation streaming service. It gives you what you want as opposed to what you need. And entertainment is about fulfilling a need, finding a gap in your life that helps enrich your soul and expands your mind and makes you feel like a more well-rounded character and person, so that you can interact with other people that have either similar interests or something to cross over to exchange your new ideas, your new perspectives, your new anecdotes to enrich your life. And you're not going to get that from a tech company that just wants to retain your attention 24/7.
Oh, I hate streaming entertainment in general because it all kind of feels the same. I don't care what you're watching. Even the ones I like have a sameness that after a while I go, all right, well, here's it used to be that streaming shows all had the flashback episode. And it was like, all right, we got the penultimate episode. It's the flashback. Let me learn about why so-and-so's got a scar on his cheek, or why so-and-so won't get married after her husband died.
It's the new padding. It's the new filler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flashback episode.
I hate that so much.
Well, the one streaming show I did see that didn't have an episode that was dedicated to a flashback was on MGM Plus, and it's Robin Hood. And it's an okay show. And that's about, it's got Sean Bean in it, and it's an okay show.
Is he alive still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's rare for Sean Bean.
I was going to say.
He's the sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, so he'll die at the end of the season. Got it.
No, the season's over. He's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, I like him as an actor, so I'll give it a watch.
No, he is probably one of the best things to watch on that show.
I do love that he did not get the role of James Bond, though.
Yeah.
I don't think
man.
Him as James Bond.
Yeah, he was a better Trevelyan. So
He was.
He was a good dark side to our good old.
Well, what's funny is when I was telling one of my buddies about this, he's like, "Oh, because he told me about A24 having the Hugh Jackman Robin Hood film that's coming out this year." And it looks like it's a type of True Grit take on Robin Hood.
Interesting.
So it looks interesting. It does have the gimmicky advertising, like the Robin Hood story you've heard of is a lie. It's like, well,
of course.
Public domain. Well, first of all, it's public domain. Second of all, there's thousands of different Robin Hood stories. Most of them even get the original one wrong, because Robin Hood didn't steal from the rich and gave to the poor. He stole from the government that was stealing from the people. Like, that's what he did. Yeah, so we'll see how it is. It looks interesting. Looks well shot, well made, and I know it's on a decent budget. But Hugh Jackman had like 5 movies that came out last year, and only one. I don't think anybody really saw them.
I only saw Deadpool. I'm sorry, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Deadpool 3?
No.
Good. Don't. Just don't.
I didn't care enough. Like, seeing him in the actual, like, the yellow and blue suit in the trailers, that was cool. But I'm not a big enough Deadpool fan to give a crap, and I hated the second film so much that I extra don't give a crap.
Yeah, I hated Deadpool too. I can't watch it.
It's real.
I've only seen it the one time.
If you got rid of that fat kid, it would have been a good movie.
It would have been infinitely. He ruined the movie every single second he was on screen. Yeah, I refuse to watch it again. The first film's fun. It's funny.
Yeah,
I don't like it because I like Deadpool. I like it because it was a fun, funny action flick, and I laughed my butt off in the theater with my dad when I saw it in theaters. So it's like, that's all it means to me.
I don't want to say anti-Deadpool, but I don't really enjoy Deadpool at all outside of that first movie. Because, like, I think what happened with me is my Deadpool patience wore thin. After I would go to cons and, like, everybody would want to perform for you. And like, I don't want to hear your performance. I just thought your costume looked cool, and I wanted to give you a compliment because it looked like you put in extra effort. But no, I got to get a whole, like, they think that you have to play the character as well. It's like, no, I'm okay. Just stop. And then everybody wants to write their own Deadpool jokes, and after a while, you're like, I hate Deadpool. And so that's where I am with Deadpool. And the Joker. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. He's like ice cream. You can have it once in a while, but if you use it as your main diet, you're going to get diabetes and die.
Yeah. It's Marvel. They're gonna get diabetes and die because they're about to fill us full of sugary bullshit that is the Avengers Doomsday. And I don't mean saccharine and sweet. I just mean it's gonna be full of
Empty calories,
there you
forgettable.
go. That's what I'm looking for. I was gonna say all killer, no filler, but I want the opposite of all filler, no killer.
All killer, no filler. I remember that album.
I did not have that album, but I do now. So, yay, Sum 41. But looking at this trailer, I saw Professor X and Magneto playing chess. I saw this. I'm about the same place as I was 3 weeks ago when we talked about the leaks that turned out to be true. I was a little more excited by those leaks because I was like, oh man, is this real? Spider-Man, this, that, and the other. And then it all pretty much was real. I saw the Thor one thanks to our pal, Master of the TDS. And then we're here with this one. I don't know, man. Am I jaded? Am I the only one that's just kind of towards this one?
You're probably jaded, but I don't think anybody with their head screwed on right could actually blame you for being jaded. I'm trying to at least look forward to it enough to go into it with an open mind and be willing to be convinced, but I'm not going to bend over backwards to be convinced. Give me a good movie. I'm glad that I get to see some of my favorite actors of some of these characters come back. But like, if all you're going to do is give them a 15-second cameo before you kill them off or something, whatever, then it's like, well, then I don't care. So you really, the onus is on them. They got to show me.
I think the X-Men need to be done perfectly because that's their next, I don't want to say wave because these aren't toys, but that's their next plan.
Well, that's the only other thing they have coming that could be anything resembling exciting, right? Is the X-Men being a huge focus in the next phase. It has to be. They don't have anything else anybody gives a crap about. What are they going to do? Re-sign RDJ, Chris Evans, and Hemsworth for like a bunch more films? I mean, I guess everybody's got a price. If they give them a nice fat paycheck, then maybe they'll probably do it. But, at some point, you're going to have more than just them.
We have to give them something to do that makes audiences be excited to see them. Listen, Marvel is the only studio that will pay high price for those legacy actors because those actors will never get that amount on anything else they ever make ever again. It just is like Chris Evans has done 4 movies. He hasn't made more than maybe $3 million a picture. He's coming back for Avengers Doomsday. He's probably making 15 to 25 million easily off of that. The thing is that these 4 teasers that Marvel's releasing is their way of trying to apologize for the last 6 years of Marvel flops by saying, hey, we're going to get back to committed more to what Marvel comics were as opposed to what we just saw. So the sad part is that Lauren Schuler Donner was right, which is not really a bad thing because she's a brilliant producer. But she is the one who, in the 1990s, she would often be consulting on a lot of superhero films because her husband, Richard Donner, created the very first superhero film and started the superhero movie. And we've never gone more than 2.5 to 3 years without a superhero film being released. It's a sustainable genre. It's never going away. But one thing that Laura Schuler Donner did was whenever she'd be brought on board as a consultant or whether she ended up becoming a producer, like she was a producer with X-Men, she'd always fight for comic accurate costumes because she knew your core audience would want to see that. And the studios would always reject that part and she'd be always vetoed on that. And then, you have Deadpool and Wolverine. And people lost their minds when Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, drew the cowl, was wearing the yellow suit. And they're like, oh my God, this is what works. And it got the biggest reaction. And it basically was a big thumb and middle finger to every studio exec since 1993 to today saying, yeah, audiences aren't going to buy into a ridiculous, colorful outfit. It's like, yeah, They will. Like the normies will love it.
These are superheroes, guys. Like these are comic book characters. We want to see the bright, colorful outfits.
Yeah.
Right?
And
even though the movie itself was not good, like that ending scene for Black Adam when Henry Cavill walks in and his suit is nice and bright, vibrant blue and red. People were
contrast
super
to the
hyped
fact
about
that the
that.
night shot. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
even
think that
then,
was to their credit. Like, hey, like this is the suit, right? And so like when I saw this shot, I was like, oh, okay. That's the Cyclops suit I want to see, right?
Yep, good old Jim Lee.
Yeah, Jim Lee's take, and heck, I would still like to see like the X-Force suit. That'd be cool. But, yeah, like this, it's basically Marvel saying, you know what, we are not going to try and pretend that we're making a serious movie. We're going to lean into what made comic books a medium that surprisingly lasted through the Great Depression, through the 60s, through all the crises of the 70s and 80s. We're going to just give a swing, aiming for the fences with swinging for the fences with these with the costumes, with the characters, with what we have, as out of desperation, just to see maybe, because this is a nothing to lose film right now. Like they're spending a ton of money because they basically are saying we have nothing left to lose. Like we've lost our core fan base. We don't get any accolades from the critics as well as we used to. Like the Rotten Tomatoes stuff doesn't matter because they're bought and paid for by Disney. Audience scores are what counts. It's basically like, let's just throw as much money at this movie as we can. Let's give them the core audience and the fans all the things that we think they might want, and let's hope and pray that it pays off. And if it doesn't, we went out with the most authentic, visual styled Marvel film out there, and they will then make another one a couple of years later. Because again, when you own an IP, you cannot, the longer it takes for you to produce something to that IP is the longer your IP is losing its value over time. Mm-hmm. Like people have been trying to get Buck Rogers made again since the series ended in the 80s. And guess what? If it does ever come out, it's going to be a large struggle to get it back to the level of popularity it was when it debuted at the end of 1970 and had that series. But it will be worth it if they pull it off.
Right.
And the same thing for all these other series that some people might be out there like, hey, whatever happened to that? You know, if they want to do a reboot of Murder, She Wrote, it's going to be an uphill battle to get that going. Maybe they did do a reboot of
it. Should star Martin Lawrence.
It should star Martin Lawrence. But if they wanted to do, say, the 6th reboot of the Knight Rider TV show, because they've done a ton of that, same thing would apply. No studio is ever going to take a break because you can't afford to take a break these days, especially in a world where you have to create content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because people are going to be burning through it very quickly. It's just the nature of the game. Even though there's more shows and more movies in existence today available on streaming that could not be all watched in a single lifetime, you still need to make more. Because some people are just not going to go back to the old stuff, and some people are only going to be interested in the new stuff.
And they're missing out.
Yeah, they are. Because I love watching the old shows because they're so much more interesting and well written than the stuff today. Because they're written by people that lived lives, that actually read things that are not that aren't just television shows. I mean, the vast majority of Hollywood films, and this is the one thing that always hurt me when I entered the industry, is every time a book would go on the shelves, studios would be clamoring to read it and then option the movie rights. And today, they're not doing that as much anymore, because on top of that, the books that are coming out are also not making any waves, because the writers of those books never read books before. They just watch things, and then they're taking bits and pieces of the stuff they like, and they're putting them into a novel form, and they're setting them out into the world.
Thanks, Stephanie Meyer.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Has she done anything lately?
No, I think she's kicking it back and enjoying her many millions of dollars, which I think is a benefit to everybody.
Yeah, good for her. Like, retire, lady. Please never write again. It's too much stress. Take it easy. You deserve it.
Just like JD Salinger, Stop. Just stop.
Yeah, well, he did. We need a remake of Turbo Teen. That's the one where he becomes a car, right? Sign me up.
Give me a live action Johnny Quest.
With Sadie Sink as Johnny?
No, you could do a live action Johnny Quest with Bryan Cranston as Benton Quest and Tom Cruise as his buddy Rex.
Oh, wait, Race Bannon?
Race Bannon, yeah.
I'd watch that.
I'm here for it.
And you got to make it 60s super science-y, weird and silly.
Yeah, lean into it. Don't take it seriously.
Yeah. Even though Race and Johnny will be the same height.
Seriously.
You got to get Haji in there.
They won't.
For diversity, they'll have to.
They'll change it to like Raji or something and make it less offensive. Yeah.
I hate it already.
Yep. There was a rumor at one point where it was supposed to be Zac Efron as Johnny Quest and The Rock was going to be Race Bannon.
I remember that. Well, I mean, fortunately right now, because I think Warner Brothers has the rights to Johnny Quest with Hanna-Barbera. Maybe wrong, but I think they do. And you're not going to get that type of stuff out of Warner Brothers these days, unless Netflix gets full ownership of the company and decides to do a massive regime change at Warner Brothers Studios, which typically happens when a new entity buys a studio. They clean house.
Well, here comes the cleaning of Warner Brothers 1, 2, 3. Our friend John Thomas, thank you very much for another generous super chat. John says, script, do you remember a Disney show, Scarecrow, Robin Hoodish, Zorro-ish show with a prisoner actor? Apparently, it's not on Disney Plus. I have a vague memory of seeing it on an old Sunday night show.
Oh, you're talking. If you said The Prisoner, that's Patrick McGoohan, and you're talking about The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, and that's a 3-part miniseries. That's not a TV show. It's a special, and it was probably a special because Disney did this back in the 60s, where they'd have a kind of like Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Disney had their own version of that, and that's what it was. And it's a 3-part special with Patrick McGoohan. I do vaguely remember that. I don't have a copy of it, but I'll probably want to go check that out again because I think that had George Cole in it, and I think it also had Kay Walsh as well. So, yeah, I'd love to go back and check that out.
John, thank you very much. I'll have to check it out too. I like Zorro. Ruddy says, thoughts on Jordan Peele making the next X-Men?
Is he?
That's something that somebody online said should happen, and then it was one of those things that it caught on for a little bit, like last week, and a bunch of people were talking about it. I have not seen a single official news source say anything about it, so it's not a thing that, if it's happening, it hasn't been officially stated that it's happening or even hinted officially that it's happening. It's just one of those things where it's like, rumors say, right? Sources, trust us, bro.
Those are the best sources. Vince Russo, bro.
Yes.
Look, if that happens, I think that's a bad move because Jordan Peele is going to make it too much of a racial allegory, and then the official story will be Professor X's Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X is Magneto, and all
which
this
was
dumb
never
shit.
the case.
Yeah, but they're going to rewrite history because it's going to get people talking on social media, and I think that's going to pop a buy rate if we're talking wrestling here. Like, it's just leave this shit alone as is. We're all okay with it. But they're going to have to cock it up.
That's a term.
Oh yeah, it's in Hot Fuzz. Don't cock it up.
Haven't seen it.
Why am I not surprised?
You're not.
I'm not.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play another Has Andrew Seen This soon.
No, that one's already been. That was in the comedies thing that we went through, and we replayed this game.
Yeah, but
Demolition Man.
there's so many other movies we know you haven't seen.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Demolition Man.
Yes.
Dante's Peak.
No.
Crimson Dawn. Or Red Dawn and Crimson Tide.
Red Dawn, yes. Crimson Tide, no.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
No. I haven't seen any of the Bill and Ted movies.
Oh.
I just don't know how like you missed Bill and Ted. They were everywhere, dude.
I just didn't watch it.
They had a
Same thing with
cartoon show.
what the hell? The other goofball duo in the early
Beavis and Butthead?
2000s. No. Well, I did. My parents didn't let me watch that, and I didn't really have any interest. Oh gosh, why am I with freaking Kevin Smith?
Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah, I didn't watch that either.
Yeah, but if you weren't allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead, you definitely weren't allowed to watch Jay and Silent Bob.
I don't think my parents knew anything about it. I just didn't have any interest in it.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys this because it happened to me over the break. Lionsgate messed up and sent me 2 copies of Dogma, so I'm happy about
Wow,
that.
Cool.
There
Yeah,
you go.
double steel books.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin Smith. I feel like, you sent me one personally.
Right on.
Our friend John Thomas says, we have great books like Morning Glory, Milking Farm. Let's see that optioned. Cringe. There's a whole series of books.
No.
Is that real? Morning Glory, Milking Farm?
I wish I didn't know what that was, but unfortunately, I know what that is.
Oh, Andrew knows. All right, folks, we're going to use AI to write a song called Andrew Knows. He doesn't know about Wayne's World 2, but he knows about milking farms.
Oh, God, no.
Andrew knows. Now I'm turning into Leonard Cohen. I better stop. What does Andrew know? No, I don't. You can make weird stuff. I'm all about it. I don't have to go see it, but diversity is good. Isn't that what they've been telling us for the last 10 years? We need more diversity in entertainment.
Yes, but they've been looking at it the wrong way. They keep on looking at something about representation, and they're trying to give us a false metric of that when the best diversity is just different stories and ideas, because there are 5 main plots that are common throughout all human history of stories. There's many different genres and approaches to those 5 different plots, and there's many different inventive ways which you can execute them, and that comes by having diversity of thought and ideas and approaches to those types of plots. The moment you don't focus on that and you focus on immutable aspects of characters is the moment you've lost all 5 of those plots and you're just giving us trite.
That's what they think we want.
Well, I mean, The Simpsons, they said that here's this plate of trite, and they all wanted it, and that's a great allegory to a lot of mass audience appeal these days, sadly.
You're not wrong. So, Andrew, how do you know about Milking Farm?
I unfortunately listened to a few females talking about books, and that was brought up.
Hey, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you a story. I met this woman at a con, and we started talking about these, like, her interests in certain things, and she bought tits and art from me. And when people buy tits and art from me, they just tend to talk to me about shit. So she told me about these, like, erotic monster novels, and then she friended me on Snapchat, and she'll just, like, message me and be like, hey, I read this book and that book. So I've heard all kinds of weird shit.
That is effectively what that is.
Okay. See, I don't want to put you on Lonely Island here or oust you. So there you go.
It brings me pain that I know it is.
I just like that strangers want to tell me all their shit because they bought a book from me.
I would be fine with them just buying a book from me.
I'm just, hey, if people want to tell you shit, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me everything.
Yeah, I don't care about your monster erotica, bro. Like, I'm good.
Oh, this is a woman. So it's a little different. She's
Still
talking to me. Yeah.
Fine.
I wouldn't call this lady bro, but, whatever. It is what it is. So, guys, what do we think is Endgame? No, sorry, Endgame's over. Are we thinking that Doomsday is going to make more money or less money based off this trailer?
I think this trailer will contribute to it at least having a strong initial weekend. If the movie's good, it'll have legs. There's still what I think there's like 2 or 3 more trailers like this.
No,
that
this
they
will be
have.
this is the last of the teaser, and then the official trailer comes out, I think, in a couple months' time.
Oh, okay. I can't keep track. They've had so many teasers for this thing already, which is kind of wild.
Well, they're trying to get that Chinese market because it's all in front of Avatar, and
Yeah.
people outside of North America like Avatar. People inside North America don't even remember what Avatar is.
I didn't
It's
go see it.
It's Fern Gully and Dances with Wolves with gigantic Smurfs.
Gigantic
in
blue
space.
cat people. Yeah.
Yeah, or that, whatever. Yours works too. I mean, if there are a couple like big surprise moments in the film, and the film is overall fun, and word gets out about that, the movie will do well. At the end of the day, like if it comes out that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield even have a small part to play in the films, people will show up just for that.
Yeah, I don't think this movie's going to flop at all. I think this is going to be a surprisingly.
I think this
big
film
hit.
I think this film is going to be their first chance at a really good box office return in a hot minute, like since Deadpool and Wolverine.
Look, if Avatar can make all this money, anything can. So,
well, it depends on which market it's going to make that money, because this is what's been changing in the industry is Hollywood has realized that they retain more domestically than they do foreign. And the foreign stuff is great reputation, but they've kind of learned that if you don't have those domestic dollars, you're not surviving the cultural shift from theaters to convenience, because every industry that doesn't get in with the convenience of the customer dies. And guess what? It is far more convenient to watch a movie at home than it is to go out and see it in a theater. And the way that the studio systems are looking at it, which is now very compromised with the Netflix acquisition of Warner Brothers, is that people are not going to be interested in going to the movie theaters shortly. And if you don't go to the movie theaters, you don't have the theaters to bring in that extra revenue. Studios will make more money on streaming in the future with the new models that they're using. But you're just not going to have that experience anymore. It's going to be limited to music concerts and sporting events. And then feature films are going to be a boutique experience. You're not going to have your multiplex cinemas anymore. You're going to have your 1 or 2 screens at most, and you're going to be paying $50 a person for a ticket. Because
not for these modern movies.
Well, I mean, yeah, at the point it is, but you're not buying it for the modern movie. You're buying it for the communal experience. Because that's what
I just meant like I'm not going to spend $50 to go see SpongeBob.
No, they're not. Well, I mean, actually, you know what? Yes, they are. Because eventually the economy and inflation is going to get to a point where, yeah, you will be spending $50 on a movie ticket sooner rather than later. Because right now, your average price across most of North America is between $16 and $20 a ticket.
Yep. That's what it is here.
Where 15 years ago, it was an average between $8 and $12. And then 30 years ago, it was $5 to $10 at the most.
I remember paying $6.25 to go see Spider-Man because I paid in cash, my own cash. I was so excited. But yeah,
I remember when an IMAX ticket was like $12.
Yeah, now they're close to 30, right?
30
I
and change,
think,
yeah.
Mine are at my local AMC. I think it's 22. At least it was last year, which was the last time I went and saw an IMAX movie. I guess last year wasn't that long ago. That's not a good measure.
No, it was
whatever the last movie I saw in IMAX was, which I can't remember what. It might have been it was Mission Impossible was the last thing I saw in IMAX. And yeah, I paid like $22 for that. Because I remember being really annoyed that Jurassic World wasn't released in IMAX. I mean, like, why? This is a dinosaur movie. Why is this not in IMAX? Whatever.
I don't like those movies anymore. Let's see. Dean, I won't be paying $50 for any movie ticket. It would have to be like concessions included in it, like such a great experience where like you're guaranteed no phone or a free ticket, that type of shit. Like
It's going to be medieval times. Have you ever been to
the
medieval
restaurant?
times? You get a dinner, you get a show, you get people dressed up in costumes as your wait staff to bring you beer and food. That's eventually what's going to happen to movie theaters, sadly.
It could be fun in theory.
Medieval times is not fun unless you're like 7.
Or Jim Carrey. That's a great movie. Oh, let's see. We're all caught up on the messages. I went to Medieval Times in Canada. Fun place, says Clone Geek.
Did you go to the one in Toronto? Because I've filmed a bunch of stuff in there over the last like last 2 years, actually.
I have not been to that one. I want to go to the one outside of Chicago or the one in Seattle, as seen in The Cable Guy.
I've been to the one in Chicago. Yeah, Chicago one. They all look the same.
I just really like The Cable Guy. I don't think that movie gets enough praise.
Cable Guy is awesome. I've been trying to find the original script for years because
Chris Farley one.
The one that Chris Farley brought into, because it's darker, but it has more lighthearted dialogue in it because it's dark in themes as opposed to just dark all around. So
yeah, there's a weirdness to that movie that I always gravitated towards as a kid because I like Jim Carrey, but I don't like everything he did. And that was always that like odd when everyone's like, "Oh, I love Little Nicky." I'm like, I hate that movie, but I watch The Cable Guy.
But Little Nicky is Adam Sandler.
Oh, Nicky is Adam Sandler.
Well, sorry. I'm drawing a blank. What's the one?
The number 23.
No, like Yes Man or Bruce Almighty or all these other ones. I'm like, no, Cable Guy.
Bruce
Cable
Almighty.
Guy.
That was funny.
Bruce Almighty is funny. I just think Cable Guy's got, I don't know, more meat to it.
Fair enough.
Let's see. I'm just reading the chat to get caught up. Are we no, okay. It looks like we're all caught up. Anything else you guys want to say about the Avengers, Avatar, Star Wars, anything before we put this baby to bed?
Don't care about Avatar, Star Wars, and I hope Avengers is good.
I thought you would have gone to see Avatar.
I still haven't seen the second one. I forgot the second one even came out before they announced the third one. And I was like, oh, that's right. They made another one.
Ash and Fire. I don't know a single person that went and saw it, but it made $1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion Chinese dollars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the kicker right there. They do love them. They may not like the black people, but they do love the blue people.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that's been quite funny over the last few months. Hollywood is terrified of making movies with Asian actors because they can't sell them in China because China doesn't want them. So even though like there's a lot output, especially from like South Korea, China, of Asian actors that are coming out to the West, when Hollywood tries to do it themselves, they can't sell it to China because they look at it as like, what do you know about Chinese culture? That's exactly the thing. And that's why there's not as many, Hollywood movies with Asian leads anymore. They still have them here and there sparingly, but not as much as like 4 years ago, we had way more than we did today.
Right.
And they're not doing it anymore because China doesn't want that. And then on top of that, there are certain West movies with Western values that China doesn't want either. And what makes it even worse is that even though China does provide a lot of box office money because they're a pseudo-communist state, they retain between 60 and 80% of that money. So the studios get a smaller fraction of it in the end. So now studios, aside from Disney, most studios are saying we don't care about China anymore.
That was quick.
Took a decade, but yeah.
I just remember Iron Man 3 having its own like special scenes and Transformers 4 having its own like different version for China. And I was like, what a weird concept.
I remember when they were in mid-production of Iron Man 3 and they decided to completely scrap what they were going to do with the Mandarin because they didn't want China to be offended
Oh, you gotta love that China.
And then they did it again with Shang-Chi.
That movie was a hit, right? Every kid wanted a Shang-Chi action figure.
Well, the only claim to fame it has is the biggest Labor Day weekend opening ever. That's not really saying much.
I was going to say, congratulations on that statistic, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the response is, well, you didn't have a movie that opened that high. It's like, yeah, I don't make movies.
Yeah. True.
No, I want this movie to be epic. I want to be excited. I want to walk out of the theater and be excited to do a live stream about the film. And I guess I'll have to wait till December to do that. But I'm sure we'll mention the film at some point before it comes out. I almost can guarantee we'll talk about this film at another point in time.
Oh,
maybe that's
sure.
when we'll assemble next. Who knows? But guys, I think 2 hours is about a good window.
Yeah.
So let's wind this thing down. Folks in the chat, if there's anything else you want to say it now, or forever hold your peace until Thursday. But we will be back on Thursday with another live show, WCBS episode 4. What am I on?
No idea.
72?
Pretty high up there.
We'll hit 500 this year. That'd be kind of cool.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I would like to quick plug, request everybody go check out Mary's and my new Harry Potter YouTube channel that we actually just launched. It's called The Room of Requirement, and we're uploading Harry Potter lore videos onto that.
Yeah,
so,
folks, check them out.
I'm
gonna go watch them because I like Mary. You know that.
I happen to quite like Mary as well.
Yeah, well, you like her more than me in a different way. I'm just saying, like, I think she's cool. So I think she's
cool too. That's as far as I'm gonna go.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks for making it weird, pal.
Yep, you're welcome. I dropped the link in the chat so everybody can check that out. And then self-promotion. My first short story as a comic book is now in print. The signed copies are at CGC right now because a couple people wanted my scribble on it, and I guess we're grading those and slabbing those for collectors who are weird enough to want my scribble on the book. But if you find me at a con, I'll scribble on your book for free, so you can do that. This is only $8 on our website right here, so check it out. I'd appreciate you,
folks. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. Script Doctor, what can we find on your Patreon page? I don't want to leave you hanging.
Sure. So I've got a couple of posts discussing things industry related, as well as Scripts on Saturdays returns this Saturday, which we're excited about. Also, one of my New Year's resolutions is to beef up my gaming channel. So if you want to see me get killed by zombies or play some classic games some of which are not even available anymore, such as the classic Marvel Heroes game, which vanished about 5 years ago. I play that over on Script Doctor Arcade, and come check it out. Help get that channel monetized for shekels, because that's fun. Because again, one of the things that I've been told is, like, you need to decompress with other ways, because every time I would decompress, I'd grab a book, I'd read it, and then I'd get inspired to write something, and then I'd be writing it, and then people would be like, you're
actually still just working. You're not decompressing.
I'm still just working. I'm not decompressing. Yeah. So I thought I'd give that a shot, and it's been pretty well. I mean, the last couple of live streams I've had up to like 200 views for doing almost no advertising.
Nice.
So yeah, come watch me get killed by zombies or other stuff, because I'm doing a bunch of these retro games as part of research, because one of my best friends is making a video game, and I'm going to be story editing it. So I'm going to figure out more of the classic style of gameplay that he's building, so I can do the best job possible. And then maybe if play my cards right, I'll be able to preview that game on the channel so everybody can see it. And if they dig it, they could probably buy it. I'm pretty sure he's selling it for dirt cheap when he launches it in a year's time.
That could be something he launches on Steam.
Yeah, it'll be something he launches on Steam. And does he
have it wish listed available yet?
No, you're not at that point yet, because it's basically, I think he's only finished like 6 out of the 20 levels he's got for the thing.
Make sure whenever he puts it up for like wish listing, you let people know. That way we can drop that link in
Drop that
places.
link, find some discount codes, do all the cool marketing stuff to get people to want to try it out and share it online. So it's be a fun experience for you guys. It's got some cool gimmicks to it that are rare in the gaming world, but are very popular. So
Okay. Right
Well,
on.
I'm sold. That's about as much as I can say right now until he wants me to do any more.
Fair enough.
Well, we'll leave it at that, folks. But you got a lot of people excited, like Jamie in the chat.
Nice.
All right, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. Until then, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.